Hello, this is Edward Brooks. Hello, my name is Edward Brooks, and welcome to the next in this series of videos. You know, personally, I'm a huge believer, and I'm always impressed by the creativity of people. In the business world and the technology world, really all you're doing is setting a goal and working towards that, identifying, addressing, and solving the problems you face along the way. In the last video, I talked about the concept of the next last mile and how that's never going to end. There really never an end to that. In the last video, I talked about the concept of the next last mile and how there really is never going to be an end to what we need to know. But it's all incremental, building of what you've already got, certainly not starting from scratch with every new wave of technology. Maybe the issue becomes the volumes of what we need to know, is this is only going to accumulate at a faster pace than ever before. So we've been working on this over the last year or so, and the question we keep coming back to is how do you address this need for new knowledge and the ability to learn the next last mile in a way that in a world that. So we've been working on this question. So we've been working on one thing over the last year consistently, and it's a recurring question we've had over and over again about how do you address this need for new knowledge and the ability to learn this next last mile in a world that is moving so quickly. Really, from what we can see in every solution we've looked at, the options are reasonably limited. As an employer, you can try to recruit these skills, but as I said in the first video, there is such a low unemployment level generally and super low availability of skills and new technology that kind of old model of just going out and recruiting people with the skills just cannot happen. And there's many reasons why that's not a good solution as well, because you're bringing in people that don't know your culture, don't know your organization, don't know your processes, how things get done, etc., etc. So the timeline from bringing someone in with the right skills to having them effective must be 3 to 6 months minimum. And you can't really turn to your managers or your senior leadership for solutions. They'll be great at helping find solutions, but this is as new to them as it is to anyone else. So they won't have the experience nor the answers. And nor, being realistic, nor can they be expected to be experts in all these new areas. For them, this is as much a learning experience as it is for anyone else. And again, as we talked about when I shared my mistake about the market, the lines between all these new technologies are blurring. So it requires people to be able to recognize that this is a blurring going on. There are kind of less black and whites. It requires them to be open to exploring where the technology is taking them. And then they need to be open to acquiring the knowledge that is going to help them deliver and operate these new technologies. So really, a lot of this is mindset shift. It's kind of fascinating, exciting stuff. If you recognise that this is going to be never going into the same job day in, day out. This is actually going to be a journey that is energizing. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be unknown. But really, what do you need to have as a skill set and a mindset along the way to make the journey a lot easier? And most traditional training is one of two options. You can come on site, do a full class. You assume that there's 10 people in your organization that all need to know exactly the same thing on exactly the same week. And whereas I'm a huge believer that on-site training is by far the most effective way to do it, it's also incredibly impractical, especially when there's so much to know and the rate of change is growing. It's happening so fast that this kind of on-site classroom model, unfortunately, is just going to be a challenge for any modern organization. And then you've got on-demand training. Again, there's many challenges around on-demand training. Obviously, it requires a lot of self-discipline, and this leads to very, very low completion rates. But from where we're standing, you're also doing this blind. You're not engaging with an expert who's guiding you to the answers and helping solve the problems that you in particular are facing. So this is all really about how you acquire new knowledge and how you apply the new knowledge. Consultants are always going to be an option, but they bring their skills and knowledge and usually leave with them. They're not there to scale up your teams. And finally, you'd expect the technology vendors themselves to be playing a leading role in solving this problem. But here's what we've seen. all the new technology providers, they recognize that skills and training are important to the success of their clients. However, providing that training is not their core skill. Given the choice of investing in sales teams, product teams, or training is always going to come third in that list. And that's actually fine. I actually believe that training is a specialist skill, and it's not reasonable to expect a technology provider to be world class at training. But when they're growing fast, they're not always focused on filling the knowledge gap that their growth is creating. So, again, traditionally you'd expect the technology providers to solve their own problems, but we're seeing that just not being the case at the moment. So, again, the purpose of this video is far from being negative, actually, to be very positive, but really to explain the issues that people are facing. These are people who are faced and tasked with implementing and running these new technologies every single day. And none of these issues are going to go away, probably ever. Our time in this space has really opened our eyes to these challenges and is one of the many factors that has shaped the beacons. In the next video, we're going to talk about issues. In the next video, we're going to talk about these issues and focus on the one element of all of this that almost everyone seems to forget about. They may talk about it, but very few are acting on it. So my name is Edward Brooks. My details are listed here. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I trust that you're getting value from these videos.